Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a lot nicer natural light than usual because I'm not filming this at 6 o'clock in the morning in the fall, starting to get towards winter time. So today I'm talking about a little bit of a different subject, but at this point everything's different because I don't really have a norm yet. So today I'm talking about exactly what the title of this video is: how to retire from a summer job. Most people might think this is impossible, but through the powers of compounding, this is totally a thing that you can accomplish. So basically, I figured out that if you work for 5 years in high school, beginning of college time, in the summer, and make from $3,000 to $5,000 during that summer, then you can eventually, and if you invest that money, dividends reinvested, all that, at the age of 65, you can retire with a decent amount of money. So now let's get into the numbers. So 2 summers ago, I worked in a bike shop. I really only worked on weekends and Friday afternoons. I did work 18 hours on the weekends, I believe. Something around there. So about 20 hours a week, part-time job. And at the end of the summer, I made a little over $3,000 from that job. There are many people who work a lot more than that in summer jobs where they can make $5,000+ So obviously, the more you invest, the more you can save. So I basically made 3 plans to show how this can work. So the first one is the initially most expensive. But so it's $5,000 for 5 summers, and then that at the age of 65, invested, dividends reinvested, all that stuff, is about almost $2.7 million, which is insane. Just first of all, if you don't believe me, you can do the math. It's all there. But the really interesting part about that is using the 4% rule, which is basically states that you can live off of 4% of your whole worth continuously for the rest of your life. It says that you can live off of about $107,000 a year, which is quite a bit of money. So there are different ways that you can accomplish that 4%. One way is where you basically invest in stocks or real estate or something where you make at least 4% every year, and then you just take that out and you uninvest it. I personally would rather invest in companies that don't have as big of growth potential, or uninvest in whatever got me to that 2.7 million, and then invest in something that has a lot higher of a dividend, or something like real estate, and then you're just living off of those checks. So either way, $107,000, quite a bit of money. Obviously by that point it'll be worth a little bit less, but it is still quite a bit of money, and definitely more than enough to retire on. The next plan is if you do $4,000 over the 5 summer period. So this could be if you don't want to work as much, you make less, or if you still make that 5,000 but you want to spend that a little bit on something, totally understand that. But you do definitely notice a hit because you're not investing so much as early on. So this is $2.15 million, which is tons of money still. With that 4% rule, it brings you down to $86,000 a year, which is a bit of a drop, but it's still quite a bit of money. Definitely doable to live off of and live it quite comfortably. So yeah, then the next one, this one is the most complex. So I did the math for 3,000 over the 5 summers, which you don't really actually end up having enough to live off of. However, so I altered the plan to make it $3,000 for those 5 summers, and then every year after that, adding another 1,000 to the investment. By the end of this is about, I believe, a little over $47,000 that you're investing. So almost double the $5,000 plan, and you're only getting out at the end of it almost 2.5 million, which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, and I don't want to seem insensitive by that amount. However, just by not, if you can make those $5,000 by not spending that on a mountain bike, which is one of the things I wanted to buy, but I restrained myself, or whatever, not on food, whatever, and just kind of keeping your costs low, because you don't really have that many costs as a teenager, then it's pretty doable. Just to give you reference, I paid for my own lunch that whole summer where I worked at the bike shop, for 5 days a week. That was, and I managed that for under $300 for a 3-month period. $100 a month. It's pretty doable, just getting cheap pizza and something to drink, or just bring my own water, and then it's even cheaper. But basically, you don't need to spend as much as you feel like you do. You can definitely cut the costs. And for the 4% rule for that last plan, it's about $99,500, so just under $100,000. So there's not a huge difference from the $5,000 plan, but it's really nice if you don't have to worry about investing in your retirement for the rest of your life. Obviously, I'd recommend contributing to it. None of this is guaranteed. None of this is financial advice. This is just a theory. I have invested more than this, and so I'm doing a similar plan to this. I invest basically all of my money because I don't really have anything to spend it on, or anything that I really care enough to spend it on. Yeah. This is also not a video that's meant to say don't spend any of your money when you're a kid, just sit in your room quietly and read a book. I go mountain biking, I do all kinds of stuff. I'm very fortunate. That definitely depends on how much money you have, but I'd say just think about it and spend money where it counts. One thing that I find a lot of people do to help save money is before you buy something, think about it for 48 hours. Obviously, with some smaller purchases, like if you're going to get food and you're just walking, and you're like, oh, should I get food? You're not going to think about it for 48 hours and then come back, and because you probably will have eaten between those times. But for most bigger purchases, that's good. Like for a bike, as I keep using a example because I can't think of any others, but different things like that, and that should help you think about it, because then after that 48 hours you lose that dopamine effect of being able to of wanting to just buy it right there in the moment. And also some people get dopamine or just find joy in the fact that they can afford things. Many wealthy people who don't own very nice things, they're like, I could buy a Ferrari, but it's not really, I don't need it, I don't want it. It's just nice to know that I can, if I wanted to tomorrow, go out and buy a Ferrari, which is cool. And I definitely respect that. So I hope you liked today's video. If you want more like this, please comment that down below and like the video. Liking the video is really helpful for the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that's also very helpful for my channel. It's very small right now, but it's starting to grow a little bit, and that's really awesome. I'm gonna keep posting every single day at around 7 to 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And so I hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.